Hello everyone, welcome back to the next video. In this video I will show you how to create an iOS plugin to pick photos or images from the Photos app in Godot game engine. So let's get started. As usual, you would require a macOS for this and you would require Xcode installed. If you don't have it, you can download it from the Apple App Store. Also, at the time of me recording this video, I am using Godot 4.3.0, but I don't think there will be any breaking changes as such if you are using some higher version of Godot. Anyways, let's get started. So first you will have to open Xcode, and here you just have to click on File, New, and here you will have to click on Package. Now what I have done is that I have already created an empty folder named Godot. You can name it whatever you feel like. The reason why I have created empty folder because there will be lot of projects. One will be this iOS package, second will be our Godot project, third we would be exporting our iOS project from Godot project. That's why I have created one separate folder which consists of all these three projects, but you can do however things feel right for you. So I have this empty Godot folder. Now again I'll come back to over here. I'll select multi-platform, select library, click next, and here I will just go to my empty Godot folder which I have, and I'll just click on create. So it will so my library name is just my library. If you want, you can just change it at the time of creation, but just for simplicity sake I have kept it as my library. Everything is default. If you decide to change it something else, do remember this name because we will be using that name in lot other places as well. But yeah, for now it's fine. Next we'll have to go to this particular URL because it will guide us on what all things we need to add. So we need to make use of Swift Godot, which is like helps us to use Swift inside a Godot project. So we'll making use of this extension. So we have already done this. The next step is we have to add this dependency. Again, this is my cheat sheet, so from that I will just copy it, and if you see over here we have to add it after our products, right? So I'll just go after products and I'll paste it over here and just do Command S, and once you do Command S it will automatically download the dependencies for you, as you can see over here, with the help of Swift Package Manager. So we don't have to worry about unnecessary stuff. Then we have to add this platform. So if you go over here, just scroll down, here you can see they have added it for macOS. We just need it for iOS. So after the name we have to add it like this. I have kept the minimum as version 17 because I was facing a lot of issues on version 15 while compiling. That's why I don't know what's the minimum version which this particular Swift Godot supports for iOS. I think it is version 17. The next is type dynamic we have to add. So just copy this. If you see, they have added it over after this library name, so I'll just add it over here as well. Okay, once that is done, we have to add this dependencies section as well. So I'll just copy this, and if I just scroll down a little, here you can see they have added this dependencies after this target name, right? So I will, after this target name, just add a comma and just add this particular thing. Now I will just do Command A, Control I, just to fix the indentation a little, and just press Command S as well. Okay, so this is done. Next thing is, at the time of me recording this video, Swift Godot does not support Swift version 6. That's why I have to change this particular thing to 5.10. But at the time of you watching, if Swift Godot, just check if Swift Godot already supports Swift 6.0. If yes, then you don't have to change it to Swift 5.10. You can continue using Swift 6.0 and above. Okay, so this is done as well. Next we'll have to go to our my library, and what I will do for now is I will just remove the, I am using VS Code, right? I will just open this entire Godot folder inside VS Code. I will tell you later on why I'm doing this, because we need to create some files which I found little bit tedious to create via Xcode, and also some files for Godot game project as well. That's why I have just opened it. Later on I'll let you know. Next, coming back to this, so we have to write the actual code for this. Now I already have written the code inside my sample project, so I will just copy it and then I'll explain it to you. So I'll just open this, I'll copy everything, and I'll come back to our Xcode project and I'll paste it over here. So firstly you have to import UIKit, Swift Godot, as well as the Photos UI framework. Now the way I'm using photos UI, so I'm making use of PHPickerControllerDelegate. Also, if you're getting lot of errors from Xcode, ignore that, like Xcode does not play nicely with Swift Godot. Next thing, like I was mentioning, I'm using this PHPickerViewControllerDelegate. So the way I'm using it, I don't require the permission from the Photos app. So I just want to make that clear. So if you have knowledge, little bit knowledge of native iOS, you know that inside info.plist we need to add that photos permission, but in our case we won't be requiring that, because we are only allowing user to select a particular image, and once the user selects an image, we are displaying it inside our Godot game engine. So we are not really manipulating that image, so we don't really require the permission as well. So yeah, just making that clear. Then here again, this is boilerplate code which you have to write. Again, this should be your own library name, rest everything remains the same. Then this is, I have created a class with our library name, and here I have annotated with @Godot, and here I have extending ref counted. Again, I think this is for memory management, and here is our PHPicker view controller delegate. So this will help us to basically pick images. So yeah, that's what this is useful for. Then I have created one signal. So this signal is basically used to send data from Swift package side to Godot side. I will let you know I have kept it as string because I'm using a trick. Basically, when you select a image, you get it in form of UI image in iOS, right? But we sending a UI image to Godot side is a little bit tricky. I don't know how to do it. You will have to convert it to a proper image format. If you have watched my Objective-C tutorial where I was integrating camera, you know that I had to copy a bunch of code. I don't want to do that in Swift, so I will tell you how I'm doing it. That's why I have kept it as string. Then here is our pick photo method, which we have to call it from Godot side. That's why it is annotated with @callable. This particular code here, we have to get hold of our root view controller. So that's what this code is about. Then here we just initialize our PHPicker configuration. Selection limit, I have kept it as 1, so only one image can be selected. Filter by images, because the photos app also contain videos, so I only want it for images. Then here we have done this PHPicker view controller and send our configuration whatever we have defined over here. Then here we are assigning the delegate which we were extending over here, and here we just present that photos app as a picker from which user can select an image. Once the user selects an image, the callback comes over here. So here we are overriding this method from this PHPicker controller delegate. So be careful, this is not a method which I defined it by myself. This is present by default. I'll just close this, and here we just once the user selects an image, this method gets called automatically. So we just dismiss our picker, then we get whatever result or image the user has selected over here. Then we just have to conform it to image identifier type. This is boilerplate code, and also we have to do this load file representation. Once that is done, so here where is it, just a second. So this is my result, right? Documents directory. Okay, so basically what I'm doing is that I'm getting the URL of the selected file of the selected so this is, I think, UI image, but then I want the actual URL. So that's what I'm getting over here. Now we, at least according to my understanding, we can't directly use this URL and send it back to Godot side. The reason is because in iOS all apps are sandboxed, so you can't really use data of other apps. Also, we don't have permission to the photos app as well. So what I'm doing, once I get the URL, I'm copying it to our Godot game apps directory. So every app has an app directory, so where you can store some data. So that's what I'm doing. So basically, if you see over here, I'm first getting hold of our app directory, creating a documents directory inside it, and then whatever URL we had over here, we are just copying it to our destination URL. So if a file already exists with the same name or path, then we just delete that file, and then we copy our file which we have just got, so the URL as well as the destination URL. Okay, I am just printing this just for my own debugging sake, you don't have to do it. And then on the main thread, what I'm doing, I'm using our signal to send this destination URL back to Godot side. So yeah, that's it. If you want, you can also make use of some other signal in case if there is some kind of an issue, but yeah, I'll leave that up to you. So yeah, that's it on the Swift side. Next what we'll have to do is we'll have to cd to, oh sorry, I think there is few more steps. So okay, so the next step is we'll have to go to this particular URL to create a build.sh file. So just open this over here. So again, a shout out to this guy because he has helped me a lot. So now this build.sh file creating, you can create it via Xcode, but I find it little tedious. So what I'll do, I'll just copy this name and I'll go to VS Code. This is our library, right? And here I will create this build.sh. Feel free to create it via Xcode. I'm just not good at this. I always mess up things. That's why I don't like doing that. Then I'll just copy this entire code which he has given and I'll just paste it over here. Now there are few changes which you have to make. So firstly, here instead of iOS plugins package, we just have to write the name as my library or whatever name you have given to your library. Yeah, and there is one more thing which we have to do is we have to add this dash skip macro validation as well. So I'll just come over here and I'll paste it over here. Okay, so this is done as well. Rest everything I have just copied it from the documentation. I don't really understand all this shell scripting and all that. It's beyond me. So yeah, then we just have to cd to our my library inside terminal, and then we'll just have to first run this particular command. So I'll just run this, and then we have to run this particular command. Now I am not planning to deploy my Godot project on Apple App Store. That's why I'm only generating debug framework or debug library, whatever you call it. But if you are planning to deploy, you should generate release as well. Instead of debug, you just have to write release. That's it. But yeah, for now I will just generate debug and I'll click on enter. Now this will take okay, it is giving me an error. Command not quite okay. Let me check if I did any mistake. Maybe I gave an extra space over here. I'll just remove that space. Let me try it one more time. Okay, I think now it will succeed. So yeah, just be careful, don't give an extra space over here after this. Yeah, like I said, I am not really good at this shell scripting and all that. Now we will just open our Godot project. So open your Godot game engine, create a new project. Again, I'll just browse to that Godot folder which we have created over here. I'll click on select current folder. I'll just name it as my Godot project. Name it whatever you feel like. Okay, and I'll just click on create and edit. Let's just wait. Okay, then you have to go to project, export, click add iOS, click on fix import. You have to add your App Store team ID. I will add it later on, but make sure you add it now. I will be adding it off camera. So to get your App Store team ID, you can go to this particular URL. It will help you how to get your App Store team ID. It's pretty simple. And here if you scroll down, you have to add your bundle identifier as well. So I'll just give it as nobody app dot some app. Name it whatever you feel like. Typically it is com dot your company name dot your app name. So I'll just close it. Make sure you add your App Store team ID. Then I'll just create one 2D scene, and here I will just create one button. Okay, and I'll just name it as pick image. Okay, I'll click on save it. Also run this because we want our current scene to be selected. Otherwise, if you directly export it, you will again face issue. Also, we require one texture rect to display the image. Texture rect. Okay, and I'll just increase the size a little. I'll put it down. Yeah, change it to however you feel like. Keep fit width. Again, I'm not really good at Godot. So yeah, I'll just keep it like this. Just save it, and here attach one script as well. Again, click on create. Now again, I'll just go back to my practice project and I'll just copy some code. Node underscore 2.gd. So firstly we have to copy this. What we'll have to do is we have to copy this. So this is basically a variable for initializing our library, and inside the on ready I'll just copy this particular thing, and here you can see inside on ready I will just paste this code. So here basically we are finding our my library. Again, this should be your own library name, and here we are instantiating it if it is null, and here we are connecting our signal as well. Now you can name this method whatever you feel like. I have just named it as user detail signal, and here we just this is our user detail signal, so I will just add it over here. So here you can see we will get the data. Here we initialize our image, and if the data will be converted to a string because it will be a path, right? And if the image loads successfully, then we just create an image texture and just display it inside our texture rect by creating it from image. Now we need to get hold of our texture rect as well. So for that you can just drag something like this. Okay, and that error is gone. Also for our button we require the on press signal, so I'll just double click on this, click on connect. Okay, now on the button click we just have to write this particular bit of code for picking photo. So the pick photo was the method name, so make sure you use that same name. Okay, so this is done. Now again I'll just come over here. So this was also successful, as you can see over here. Now what we'll have to do, we just have to go to our Godot folder, go to your library, go to bin, and go to iOS. Here you can see this .2 framework files were created. So just copy this, go back to our Godot project. Inside our Godot project, let me close this. We have to create a folder, bin folder. Okay, so here I'll just create a bin folder, and inside that we just have to paste those two files. Now inside this particular bin folder also we have to create a .gd extension file. Now creating this file is a little tedious from Godot game engine, that's why I'm creating it from VS Code itself. So go to bin, and inside bin I'll just open this. Now if you see, if I just show you, if I open bin, here you can see I'm not able to open this file. I don't know, there might be some workaround. I'm not good in GD extension as well. So I will just add the code in from VS Code itself. So I'll just copy this, okay, and I'll paste it over here. Now again, if you have generated release framework, you will have to replace release over here as well as over here, but for me it is debug. Okay, so this is done. Then what I'll do, okay, I'll just copy my App Store team ID and come back. Alright, so I have copied my App Store team ID. I'll just click on save again. Yeah, make sure you save your file, otherwise again you will face unnecessary issues. I wish there was automatic saving in the Godot game engine. Then just go to project, export again, and before we export our project, what I'll do, I'll just come back to our Godot folder, and here I'll create one folder named iOS. You can name it whatever you feel like. It's just that once we export our project, it will create lot of files, so I don't want to get confused. That's why I've created one separate folder. So I'll just go to our iOS folder which we have created and just click on save. Now again this will take a little bit of time to export, so yeah, once this is done I'll come back. Alright, so as you can see, my project was exported successfully. Then I'll go back to our Godot folder, go to iOS, and you just have to double click on this .xcode proj file. It will automatically open it in Xcode. Then make sure you run it on your real device, so you just have to click on this run button. So yeah, make sure why don't run it on the simulator, because of all that Vulkan and all that stuff which I don't really understand. What I'll do is I'll just mirror my device. Okay, so now obviously we are running in debug mode, so that's why it is taking little bit of time. And also for the very first time I always get this warning and it doesn't run. Now I think I will also get one timeout error, I guess. This always happens to me, I don't know why. Okay, it didn't happen. So yeah, but so I think yeah, now it is showing me this lost connection. I don't know why, but anyways, I'll have this pick image button. I'll click on this pick image. Okay, so I'll just click on this pick image button. and here you can see that it is showing me images. So here you can see the photo library is shown here, but can only access the items you select. That's why we don't require the permission. But if you require access to all photos, then you would require further permission. So I'll just select this flower image, and here you can see now my texture rect was very wide, that's why it is showing the image is getting stretched, but you can adjust your texture rect. If I just click on pick image, select this bunch of flowers, okay, I think it is getting inverted. You can just rotate the image. I think some of the images are getting rotated, I don't know why. Yeah, this is getting displayed proper. I don't know why the previous image was getting rotated. Maybe you guys can let me know. And yeah, so I think even this is getting rotated. No, this is proper. Yeah, this is proper. I don't know why the bunch of flowers were getting rotated. So yeah, this also looks fine to me. Yeah, so here you can see I was able to display it inside our Godot image. Yeah, that's it. Thank you for watching. Bye.